All right, everybody. Welcome back for another one. And I wanted to start this video off with taking a look at the Bitcoin chart. Once again, I think we're at a local top here. Everyone's expecting this thing to just keep running. But for me, when I'm looking at the chart, I see a lot of hand fighting at the 40K level.
Funny. You are better than I remember.
Seems like it's really struggling to get over that 40K and push on, which only makes sense. I mean, this move is pretty ridiculous. Let's be honest. We've gone totally parabolic here, all the way from 11K up to 40. Massive move. And this is the log chart, right? I mean, this just makes things look a little nicer. When you zoom out on the linear chart, you can see how even more ridiculous this looks, right? So when you get these vert ramp looking things, something like Tony Hawk might be coming down off of, dropping out of an airplane, those are usually good times to sell, personally speaking, right? But who knows? Just my call here. I think this is due for a good pullback. And what it reminds me of is actually looking back historically. All right, zoomed way out. Hold on, just one. Actually, not that chart. Okay, perfect chart for this is the Brave New Coin. So if you want to go and actually see all of Bitcoin's history in one chart, the ticker BLX on TradingView is how you would do that. All right, but what this current cycle looks like to me, it looks like a lot more like the 2012 cycle, first halving. All right, the first halving run up. What this looked like was you had basically one blow off top and almost a mini cycle in it, and then another parabolic move. So I think we're going to get one of those, right? So I think we're getting this first blow off right here, probably somewhere in this area, maybe up to 50K if we can somehow pull that off. But see, this ended in March timeframe, and then it took all the way to September before it made another move. So I think we're going to see something like this, a little mini cycle within the cycle. So, makes perfect sense here. And I also wanted to show you guys this as well. If you haven't already studied just a little TA, as I said, so with the progression of an asset's life cycle, it usually follows what's called a logarithmic curve. So if you put it on the log chart, it'll follow some kind of progression curve like this. And typically the curve serves as resistance and support. So if Bitcoin kept running at this pace right now, it would probably hit 90,000, 85,000 by February time. It could keep going, right? But most likely that would serve as resistance because, historically speaking, right, all the way back to 2011, Bitcoin has respected this curve. So that's another reason why I think we're probably going to find a blow off top where we're at right now, maybe a retracement all the way back to the 20K-ish area, and then a move up towards the end of the year. All right, because of this logarithmic curve as well. So that's just how I'm seeing it. I think that either way, if this sells off, it's going to move into alts. Because most alts haven't had their run yet. And it only makes sense that people in crypto that are holding Bitcoin are going to take profits. They're going to move it into altcoins. Right? Clearly, there's no point in holding dollars this year at all. All right, which helps me segue right into my next topic. So, on the NASDAQ, Fed's Florida sees impressive year ahead for U.S. economy. But why, you say? A bullish Federal Reserve Vice Chair Richard Florida said on Friday that the U.S. economy was headed for an impressive year as the impact of COVID vaccines takes hold and with the potential for larger government spending under President-elect Joe Biden's incoming admin. So, but anyway, point being, they said the Fed's going to keep printing. The printer will never stop, is what they're saying, and that they essentially, what they mean by impressive year for U.S. economy is that the stock market is going to keep going up. They don't mean that GDP is going to soar or anything like that. They mean that they got the printer out and they will print this thing into oblivion to keep the markets propped up. Well, crypto is going to be a beneficiary of that. So there will be no point in exiting Bitcoin into dollars. I think that if we do get this local top here, it's going to flow into alts, which will be good for alt holders because that would be one alt season here. And then at the end of the year, I think we'll get an everything season, right? So Bitcoin will be going up, alts will be going up. That's just how I see it playing out, all right? It all ties in with the infinite money printer. So, all right, that's all I got for you there. Wanted to let you guys know as well that after all this drama with Coinbase and their fees and everything like that, I have decided to cut my ties with them. All right, so I'm not going to be using Coinbase at all unless I have to. And by meaning that I have to, the only time I would need to use them is if I had maxed out all of my daily spending on Uphold or any other accounts. So I'm sure there will be rare times where I do need to use them, but Uphold has won my business. How they handled the XRP trade suspension, which they didn't do at all. They said they'll wait until they have clarity on the actual case, which I respect that. But also their platform has no fees on their trading. Kind of similar to a Robinhood or even Charles Schwab up to this point. Most of the big brokers, they don't have trading fees either. What they do is they probably price in the fee into the trade itself. It's kind of hard to see how they make all their money, right? But either way, they don't have fees in there, and you get the market price. Maybe their market price is a little higher than the other exchanges. Who knows? And, that's up to you to figure out, I guess, if that's something you're very concerned with. But either way, I also like their platform because one thing I discovered when switching to it, that you can do instant deposit trading. So at least when I opened my account, they gave me a $2,500 daily limit, and I was able to immediately deposit that technically and invest it at the same time. So you don't have to wait for the deposit to get there to trade, which I really like. I think Gemini is like that as well. But I've been looking for a new platform since this issue has come across, and they have not suspended XRP trading. They said they won't. So they got my respect. Now I trade on Uphold. All right. Kind of a short one here today. Last but not least, Flare will be integrating LITECOIN ahead of the Flare network launch in Q2. So Q2 now. They said Q1, Q2. Well, obviously now it's going to be Q2. All right. They say this will allow LITECOIN to be used trustlessly on Flare with Ethereum-style smart contracts and gives LTC interoperability and composability. All right, so LITECOIN's coming to Flare, and because of that, the Flare will be giving free Flare tokens to LITECOIN holders as well. So they said Flare Foundation token allocation will be reduced so that 5 billion Flare can be distributed to LTC participants. Okay, full details to come next week. So LITECOIN holders will get some free Flare as well. I think what they're saying is right now the ratio is about 1.75 to 1. So 75 Flare tokens to 1 LITECOIN. Right, so it's not as much as the XRP holders got. I have some LITECOIN anyway, so I definitely look forward to getting more free Flare. Yep. Not much else to say there, other than that, yeah, it's probably going to be 1 to 75, so you do the math, however many LITECOIN you hold, if you do hold them. So, and also, wanted to remind you once again, I think there's going to be more of these. there's going to be a lot of drops coming out of this Flare network. You know, any dApp that comes to build on Flare integrates with Flare. They'll probably do an airdrop as well. Probably going to be their loophole through avoiding any kind of SEC issues, but also this Flare Finance, right? For those of you that didn't see, anyone that has Flare is also going to get this token called Yield Flare. I think it's going to be 1-to-1 as well. So you're going to get Flare if you have LITECOIN. You already got Flare if you have XRP. And then all of those Flare that you do have, you can get 1-to-1 Yield Flare. Well, so lots of free crypto coming out of this whole thing. And as they say right here, Flare Finance would like to announce that Flare, FXRP, and FLTC will be supported and heavily utilized in the Flare Finance ecosystem. This will be one of the first times that DeFi is offered to both XRP and LITECOIN in a trustless way, right? And what they mean by that is typically with all these wrapped tokens like wrapped Bitcoin or whatever, wrapped Ethereum and so on, the wrap token itself has a central entity behind it, so it's trusted, right? You have to trust them that they are holding the same amount of wrapped token that they're issuing, essentially. But Flare Finance is doing it in a decentralized manner, right? Locking those tokens away in a smart contract so it's guaranteed, something like that. I don't know the full details, but they're saying how basically their system is actually decentralized, where the wrap tokens and Ethereum's way of doing DeFi isn't actually DeFi, right? If that's something you're interested in and want to look up a little more, I suggest you read into it. So, all right. Hope that was informative. As always, please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.
What is a cashless society? What does it actually mean in a literal or high-level sense?
Money will become like these, relics of a different age, and will only be found in places like this. In other words, hard cash will disappear. It will become electronic, transferred by things like these.
Then Tracy is in Beijing to show us what a nearly cashless society actually looks like. Ben, good morning.
Mobile payment transactions in China reached a cumulative total of 277.4 trillion RMB in 2018, ranking #1 in the world, according to the recently released statistical report on internet development in China. As of June 2019, online payment users in the country reached 633 million. The cashless society is now approaching.
When's the last time you paid with cash? Well, chances are cash has taken a backseat to the plastic in your wallet and smartphone pay apps.
Denver 7's Ryan Luby explains the digital pay revolution and why not everyone is on board.
The cashless society, the cashless society.
The cashless society.
The cashless society is now approaching.
The cashless society.